Hey, good morning, family. This is Reginald Martin of Comedic Centered Living, and I'm out on my walk again this morning. So I like to do this almost every day. Man, this is just hell. This is therapy for me. It's a lot of days for real, but at any rate, I'm just tripping. But I like to laugh every now and then too, you know. But and also about the person that wants to tell me that it should be grand rising instead of good morning. I like good morning, damn it. So that's what I say. Good morning. So don't tell me how to be. I'm gonna be me. You be you. I'm gonna love you where you at, and hopefully you can love me where I'm at. If not, okay. So, ain't no thing chicken wing. But anyway, so today I want to talk about the idea of separating spirituality from life. And I've talked about this from one perspective before, but when we were Christian, we were often taught that spiritual life is separate and different from secular life. That's kind of how we separated it. But family, when you do it that way, it really made life difficult for us as Christians because we had to try to live one life and thinking and believing that just life in general is different. Okay? But in reality, what I'm doing here, especially with Comedic Centered Living and Comediphysics, is it's integrating life, okay? Mind, body, and soul, okay? Because that's really when you are developing yourself through this knowledge, people want to separate it from spirituality as if this is spiritual knowledge as opposed to some other knowledge, okay? And then the way they'll come at me is, well, spiritual knowledge is supposed to be free, and I get it, but in reality, this is about personal development, because from a metaphysics perspective, spiritual life and life is the same thing. It's just it's all life, because you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So take into account, like, I'll just talk about my journey, and I'm not meaning to make this about me. I'm saying, using me as an example, okay? Because I know me better than anybody, and I know what I've been through, So and I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, and for me, it's been a cycle that I've noticed, just looking back from the science perspective. In other words, I'm the scientist and the subject, okay? So I observe, I experiment, and I make changes based on the science of the things that are happening in my life. So let's just take, for instance, there was a point that I was a school teacher for a long time, and I ended up changing careers, essentially, and I made what I'm doing now my career, developing content, coaching, just different things like that. And in the realm of corporate America, teaching and getting a job, I really found a groove to where, I'm trying to get that sun to where it's like not right on y'all here, right on me. But I really get to the point to where it is, I understood, like, from a manifesting perspective, I can manifest a job, okay? My belief system got to a point to where I knew that if a person interviewed me, I was going to get the job. It wasn't no two ways about it. But that attitude came from a setback. And the setback was that years before, I was an insurance adjuster, and a recruiter sent me out on an interview to this company. And I walked in the door, and man, that dude didn't want nothing to do with me, you know. I mean, he barely even looked at my resume, and he just, you know, asked me a couple of cursory questions that were really, it didn't matter. I knew within 5 minutes there was no way I was going to be interviewing with that company or working for that company. But at that point, I could have been angry. I could have been upset, you know, because I knew for him, my race was an issue, okay? Being a black man was an issue. But what I said to myself after I left that door, it wasn't even about his race at that point, because for me, it was more about, I said to myself, there will never be a time that a person will interview me and I not get that job, and they not see how valuable that I am to that company, or how valuable I can be to that company. And what it caused me to do was to start to study interviewing techniques and start to study interview questions and what people wanted as far as the answers, what they were looking for, and how I could express these ideas to make sure that I fit what they needed, okay? In other words, I needed to be able to sell myself in the interview, but I needed to know how they looked at it, you know, what they were looking for. Family, I started studying that, I bought books about interviewing, started studying just different questions, looking at different questions. I literally created this document. No, I didn't create it. I got it from somebody. But there was this group of people who were pharmaceutical reps that created this document that had about 100 different interview questions. And they made you go through those questions one by one, typing your answers and answering those questions in the best way possible, okay? Putting yourself in the best light, you know, and stuff like that. That idea was absolutely amazing for me, because it helped me to understand what I needed to do to sell myself in a job. Well, in this instance, you know, that part of what happened to me, that was life. But it was through the spiritual ideas and concepts that I started to look at life and started to develop what I needed to do about me. Rather than looking at that dude as, you know, he's some problem, he's evil, he's whatever, I recognize that within me, everything that is within me was a reflection. Everything that was a reflection, everything that was outside of me was a reflection of the essence of me. So I looked at that dude as the essence of someone who didn't know who they were, okay? I didn't know my own gifts, and that was really my biggest problem, is that I always had the ability to look at other people and see the gifts in them, okay? The important things about them and what they could give to life and to humanity. But to my own self, I was blind. I could not see what my gifts were or what I did that were impactful to people, or just really look at myself from a perspective of understanding who I was, okay? Understanding the good things about me. And that was because of my religious training. To look at myself in any kind of way, in a positive way, that was a negative thing. I was being prideful, okay? But family, you know that if you go on a job, or if you got a business, if you cannot express what you can do for those people, you don't get the job, okay? So I had to shake off that religious frame of saying something good about myself. Something was wrong, you know, that was the wrong thing to do. So I had to learn through those interview questions to frame myself in a way that I knew would get me hired. I did well. I mean, damn. Like I said, I studied and I answered all those questions, and I would go back over them over the years, and I would redo the questions, but I would always keep front and center that I needed to understand my gifts and what I could do for a company. Well, family, let's switch to when I changed from being in corporate America and being a teacher to when I switched to being an entrepreneur, okay? Because within the frame of being, getting a job, family, I had it figured out. I always had a good job, always made decent money, And I say decent money because I didn't go after the money. I went more, I learned after my insurance adjusting days, I learned it wasn't about the money, because insurance adjusters make some damn good money. But man, that job is hard, it's stressful. One of the highest suicide rates, is insurance adjusters, man, because you got to think about it. Whenever somebody calls them, there's a problem. Somebody has a problem. And they usually take that shit out on you. I mean, if your house burned down and the insurance adjuster comes out and he starts adjusting, and you don't see eye to eye with what he's adjusting.
Total distance 1 mile. Total time 18 minutes and 23 seconds. Split pace 18 minutes 22 seconds per mile.
So anyway, so my little phone app is talking here, but anyway, so if they didn't see eye to eye with what you were adjusting, man, it wasn't your numbers that became the problem. You became the problem. So I had to deal with some stuff. So at any rate, I switched. Once I switched to becoming a school teacher, and again, use the same principles. Interviewed, got school teacher, and this is no joke. I interviewed with the principal of this school. And no, I did this. So this was about just about the power of manifesting in my belief that I was gonna get a job. I had been laid off for over a year and a half. Okay, and I had started teaching and was laid off, and the economy tanked. So I ended up living basically in a one-room hotel because I had lost everything. That was just the first time I had lost everything. So imagine going through that. But anyway. So I decided on a Thursday that I was going to go ahead and get a teaching job. This is after a year and a half. I said on a Thursday, I'm going to get a teaching job. And so I filled out the application for that particular district, finished it on Friday, got an interview set up for Monday. They called me for Monday. Monday afternoon, I was sitting across from a principal and interviewing him. And he told me before I went in there that they had another interview after me. Family, after I finished with that interview, that principal said, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and interview this other dude that's coming, but you got the job, So, and I'm saying that not to brag, I'm saying that's how strong my belief was about me getting a job. I knew that I had the skills to interview, to sell myself, and the belief that when I interviewed, I was going to get the job. Everything lined up, okay? So a few years later, I didn't like teaching anymore because I realized I really couldn't make the impact like I thought I was because of standardized testing and a lot of different stuff, I was a decent teacher, but, I was okay. But after a while, I just got tired of it, okay? But at any rate, so COVID hit, family. Again, I was off for, 5 or 6 months because they had to shut down the schools. And when I said I did not want to go back to that school, I was like, man, I started putting stuff in place. I started creating content. That was when I actually first started creating the African Mind Rewire course. And by the time we were supposed to go back to school, that next hour, so I was laid off from, not laid off, we were off and I was getting paid. Felt like a rich man. But I was getting paid, and then we had to go back that August. And man, my stomach was in knots. I was walking one morning just like I'm doing now, and I said to myself, I said, I was speaking to my guides. I said, guides, I said, I need y'all to talk to me. And I said, look, goddammit, and this is how I talk to my guides. Okay, we real. They be real with me. So I said, if I'm supposed to do this thing, in other words, start to creating content, creating courses and stuff like that, then I need y'all to give me a signal. I need a sign, okay? And family, I am not joking. I am not making this up, okay? I promise you. So later on so this is around this time in the morning. It's probably about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. About 7 or 8 o'clock that night, I'm watching TV. Oh, no, as I said this, I said, the sign that I need from y'all is you quit your job. When I hear those words, then that's when I know that it's coming from you, okay? So I'm watching TV and watching a movie, and these two ladies are sitting at a restaurant, and one of them, they're both talking and discussing, and the lady, she was having conflicts about her job and stuff too. And so the other lady looked at her and says, you quit your job? Family, I was like, oh shit, no, that didn't just happen, did it? That didn't just happen. But this is the thing. This is life. I'm living life. I'm just doing what I do. But at that moment, I had to put up or shut up. Because I said to my guys, if y'all tell me that, I'm gonna quit and start doing basically what I'm doing now, okay? I'm gonna quit and start doing that. Then I had to decide, because I was gonna leave the safety of a paycheck that I knew that I was gonna get every month, to basically not knowing if I could create this or do this. I had my doubts, family. I had to deal with a lot of things that what we would call spiritual deals, just self-worth. Am I worthy enough? How much should I be paid? How much should I charge? Because people are gonna tell you, oh, your stuff is spiritual. You shouldn't charge people for spiritual stuff. No, I'm worthy. My content is good. And I'm not saying that to brag, family. I've just learned that I know how to reach people. I know how to teach. That's part of my gift. And it's worth something, because it changes lives. Now, I give away all kinds of free stuff all the time. I love doing that, because a person doesn't have to buy anything from me and they still get a transformation, or they can get a transformation, okay? So it's not about the money per se. It's about the idea of my self-worth and how, I'm trying to position this where the sun is not there, but it's the idea of my self-worth. That's what I had to struggle with. So I went from knowing that I was going to get a paycheck, knowing that I could get a job and stuff like that, to now being an entrepreneur and having all of these doubts that I had to deal with. Family, that's life. And all the ideas that I work with through myself is what I share with you in my courses, my classes, the videos that I do. All the stuff that I had to do to basically stay sane, to keep from getting depressed. And there were days I was just depressed, I had to deal with. But things just absolutely, at that time, my YouTube channel, I had that channel for about 5 years. I only had I had 8,000 subscribers at that time, okay? Family, when my guys told me it was time, it was time. Most people would have said, man, the economy is going bad. You don't want to start this during COVID and blah, blah, blah. But it turned out to be, it was the exact right time to do it because people were stuck in the house and they needed something to do. So a lot of people found my stuff through that. In 2 months, no joke, in 2 months, I went from 8,000 subscribers to 40,000, over 40,000, okay? But again, I wasn't looking at life and my spirituality is separate. They integrate life for me, okay? I'm sorry about that son, family. They integrate life, all right? So that's the thing that I want to say is that, man, we got to quit trying to separate like this spiritual knowledge is something different from knowledge. No, it ain't, okay? This is personal development. Spirituality is personal development, okay? We just use metaphysical principles or knowledge of the metaphysical principles to help you with physical life. That's what this knowledge is about, okay? But it's about transforming yourself, taking the knowledge and wisdom within you and transforming yourself. And that doesn't mean that you can't have mentors or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, it is your decisions about your life that guide you, okay? That's where I'm coming from with this. So this idea of separating spirituality and life, that's some bull crap. Plain and simple. Because it's all, if you don't integrate these ideas in your life, or you think it's something separate, because how many times did we sit in church on Sunday, hoop, holler, and scream about the choir, and fall out on the floor? Now, I wasn't in that kind of church, but I've seen them, been there. But we do all of that stuff, and then on Monday, go back and do the same things that we did before, the week before, the month before, the year before, 5 years before, okay? The whole 5 years, okay? Do the same things. Never change anything. And what's the definition of insanity? To do the same things you did yesterday and expect different results, okay? But a part of that was the reason that we ended up doing that, it was because we were in a system to where, one, we had to look at ourselves as faulty, and two, living the carnal life and the spiritual life was two different things. And you had to separate it, and it became increasingly difficult to do. So you cannot separate life from spirituality. Life is not different than spirituality. It's just the different information. It's just, or not, it ain't even different information. It's about having metaphysical knowledge to help you with your physical life. That's what it's about. And we have this religious mindset that somehow spirituality is different. And family, it's not supposed to be. So when I tell you that the ideas that I'm sharing with you are about helping you transform your life, family, I've had to use them, okay? So I've had to use these ideas. I don't like just make up stuff. Even with the African Mind Rewire course, it's about really showing you that metaphysical knowledge can be and is practical. You can literally learn the ideas where you're operating from the metaphysical realm and impacting, I just walked up a hill, and impacting your physical life, okay? So, no, they're not separate. They're not separate, family. So, but at any rate, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on my walk. I hope y'all have an amazing day and recognize that these ideas are about personal development. That's what you're trying to do. Oh, I know the reason that I got on that question was that a person asked me, well, if I'm a God, why can't I, produce a miracle, produce a miracle in my life? Simple answer is that this knowledge is about developing yourself. You are not the finished product of a God, but you are the seed. You are the beginning. You have the potential, but it takes some work, okay? And it takes some science. It takes some understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, and what that science and what that reflection is saying to you, okay? Every single day. If there's something in your life that is not working like you want, that is information, not a time to be a victim, okay? A victim of circumstances. I told you about the interview where this guy interviewed me in the beginning. I could have played the victim very easily. I could have played the victim, but instead I took that as an opportunity to learn and grow and do something about myself to where I didn't give a damn who you were across that desk. You were gonna hire me, okay? That's the attitude that I took. And family, that's how it worked out for me, okay? My belief system was there. I believe strongly, and beliefs create your reality. Your inner truth, the aspect of my within you is what's going to be reciprocated and reflected back to you. All right, family? Okay, I'm out of here now. Y'all have an amazing day, okay?